Hello, I'm going to give you a very simple and very easy to understand tutorial on using try and catch to avoid errors in your applications that you write with C Sharp. Um, I use try catch in all my programs. It's a necessity, especially if your programs are dealing with user input. That could a user could quite possibly input something that the program doesn't like, and it would cause an error and possibly cause the program to crash. Um, Even without programs that require user input, it's very suggested and sometimes even required that you use try catch in order to make it run effectively. So I've already created a small program here. You're just adding two values together, and when you press the solve, you see I have the third text box here is a convert to decimal text box 1.text plus convert to decimal text box 2.text, and I converted the whole thing back to a string just to shove into this text box. So when I run it, I press the debug button, 1 plus 2 solve, it equals 3, so it works fine. But what we're going to be dealing with is, say a person happens to press the A, so it's 1A plus 2 equals 3. We're going to get here a format exception wasn't handled. Input string was not in the correct form. Now, if you debug it like this and you try it, it's going to show up with this, but it's going to look even worse if you have not fixed it in your program and you've already created an exe or something out of it. So I've already actually compiled this program and extracted the exe here. So when we run it like this, it would do 1 plus 2a. It comes up with this little nasty bar, which does not look good in any of your programs. You never want this to happen. And it really confuses the users and makes it so they really don't want to use your programs anymore. So I'm going to show you a way to get rid of that and make sure that if they're stupid enough to put an A or some random character in there, it won't show up with this. It'll tell them that they should enter the right characters, or optionally it could just display the error to them and then suggest a way for them to fix it. And also not doing the calculation completely. So let's bring up the Visual Studio again. So what we want to do is we want to encapsulate this whole, because this is the problem area, this is where something might go wrong. So we're going to encapsulate with a try. And then we're just going to put a catch. So what's going to happen is it's going to try to do this, and when it throws that error, as we saw before, if someone enters like a letter, it's going to skip over it. It's not going to do it, and it's going to go straight to the catch and do whatever's in here. So we can make it display a message. You have entered an invalid character. Just to tell them that they're doing something wrong, so they should not do that. So if I do 1 plus 2a, you have entered an invalid character, and it doesn't show up with that little message. Or possibly I could just make it ignore everything, so I could just clear this out. So if I just do 1 plus 2a, so it just doesn't do anything until I fix that. Doesn't do anything until I fix it. So that's a great way just to handle errors. And if you're having trouble trying to locate your error, you can just put a try around the main code that you think it might be involved, and then just insert a breakpoint, and then just run the program and try to recreate that error. And see, we're stopping it here, and then just step through it with the F10 or F11 button. And you see it'll jump over to the catch, and then press F11 one more time, and then mouse over this, and a little red bubble will come up, and it'll tell you the error. And it's just an easy way to figure it out. Sometimes if you run a program, and it might not always stop you when you're debugging like it did earlier. It might be undetected, and this is a great way to catch it, just so you can fix it so there'll be no errors in the future. And then another thing you can also do is, if you want to display the error to the user rather than in that strange bar, or alternatively, if that box doesn't show up, which is the case, and you still want to display the error, you can just add a parentheses and then do exception and create a name for your exception. E is commonly used, and then just do message box show E dot and then it's one of these message. And looks like I already used E before, so we're just going to change that to X. Try. Alright, it builds fine. So 1, 2A. So it'll just display that rather than the other box. And that's just a very simple tutorial on try and catch. If you would like to learn anything else about C# or Visual Studio 2008, leave a comment. Make sure to subscribe to all my videos, and make sure to visit my website and my forum. They are both in the description. This is Quackware signing out.